welcome to your Max Podcast now. The iPad 2, reports the New York Times, offers several sleek improvements over its predecessor, but perhaps its most attractive feature is the same one its predecessor had: the price. What makes that feature so compelling is that Apple's competitors cannot either beat or match it. The iPad 2, like the original, starts at $499 US. Apple says that since it introduced the original last April, it has sold 15 million of the devices, generating $9.5 billion US in revenue. Analysts say this is only the start of a lucrative market for tablet computers, which could soar as high as $35 billion by 2012. The Motorola Zoom and the Samsung Galaxy Tab, both introduced recently to generally good reviews, but at higher prices. And dozens of competing hardware manufacturers are scrambling to bring their own variations to market this year. Hewlett-Packard with the touchpad, HTC with the Flyer, LG with the G Slate, and BlackBerry with the Playbook. But prices or even release dates have not been announced. Experts say it is not yet clear whether the devices can be competitive with Apple on price. Ina Fried of All Things D states that according to Bloomberg Businessweek, the latest chatter has revolved around a deal in which T-Mobile parent Deutsche Telekom would sell its U.S. carrier to Sprint in exchange for a significant stake in the combined entity. Deutsche Telekom has made no secret that it is looking to improve its U.S. position and has also acknowledged that at least long-term, it needs new spectrum to be able to offer a next-generation network. The two firms are also united by the fact that both trail market leaders AT&T and Verizon in terms of both customer size, and both are without iPhones. On the downside, T-Mobile and Sprint have current networks that are incompatible. There's also the usual issue of how to value each side. According to the report, Deutsche Telekom is looking for a roughly 50% stake in the merged entity. Both parties are keeping their options open. According to the report, T-Mobile is also still interested in acquiring spectrum from Clearwire. Of course, that only fuels the interest for Sprint and T-Mobile to keep talking, since Clearwire is part owned by Sprint and is a partner in the WiMAX network that Sprint uses to offer its own 4G service. I'm telling you, Zuckerberg makes Gates look like a piker. Ryan Singal of Wired writes that in its march to become a portal to the entire internet, Facebook has signed a deal with Warner Brothers to test out whether its 600+ million users will be willing to pay to stream new movies from the social networking site. Warner Brothers will start the trial with The Dark Knight, the 2008 blockbuster Batman movie, and Facebook users will have to pay 30 Facebook credits, equivalent of $3, to watch the movie. To rent the movie, Facebook users in the United States have to visit the movie's Facebook page and start watching the movie from there. The rental period lasts for 48 hours, twice the standard from other streaming services, and users can post comments and do the typical Facebook things at the same time, including updating their status. Facebook has become a daily destination for hundreds of millions of people, said Thomas Gowecki, president of Warner Brothers Digital Distribution. Making our films available through Facebook is a natural extension of our digital distribution efforts. It gives consumers a simple, convenient way to access and enjoy our films through the world's largest social network. The deal is not exclusive. The movie is available to rent from Netflix as a DVD, but it can't be streamed. But it can be streamed via Amazon and iTunes. Truth triumphs fiction. And you fear technology. Washington. After discovering spider webs in the vents, the Japanese automaker Mazda is recalling more than 50,000 Mazda 6 cars from the 2009-2010 model years in the United States, and an additional 15,000 vehicles in Canada, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. The company said that a spider could weave a web in a vent connected to the fuel tank system and clog up the tank's ventilation. Pressure on the fuel tank could lead to a crack, causing fuel leakage and the risk of a fire. Mazda spokesman Jeremy Barnes said dealers had identified 20 cases in which spider webs were found in the vents. The webs were linked to yellow sac spiders, Barnes said, but it was unclear why they were crawling into the Mazda 6 rather than other vehicles. Adding to the mystery, no specific connection to a particular region of North America has been noted. Whoa, that's spooky, boys and girls. So endeth the Hump Day episode of your Max podcast. I hope that there's no spiders in my iPad 2 because I don't believe that that's covered under AppleCare. Don't forget to visit the website for my freshly squeezed reviews and the droolings that I call my blog. And hopefully very soon I'll have a mobile app for you, courtesy of Dave Merton of Mac OSG, to take you straight to the podcast. Well, my work here is done. This has been Dictator, reminding you to download, double-click, and drop out.